Wow. Hello, YouTube world and interwebs galaxy. It's me, Neolika Gal, and today I'm going to be doing something different. I tested the waters. I put out my feelers on Reddit and Instagram to see if people would be possibly interested in me doing horror movie reviews, because I love horror. I love horror movies. They're pretty much one of the only genres of movies that I really watch, and I'm a big movie watcher. So I don't mean to brag, but I've seen a hell of a lot of horror, and I love talking about movies. So I asked the world if they'd be interested in me getting into Gyaru and talking about horror movies, because it's something I really enjoy. And the response from everybody was, yeah, do it. I'm like, okay, I will do it. And someone on Reddit, I don't remember their username, but they were so helpful. They suggested that when I do the movie reviews, I could even dress a little bit like the main character from the movie, or like the antagonist, or whatever, a recognizable figure from the movie. So today I am reviewing Send Help from 2026, and I am dressed as a slightly cuntier version of our protagonist, Linda Little, who is played by Rachel McAdams. Love her. Great actress. And our other central character is played by Dylan O'Brien. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm just gonna hop right into this review. And I want to warn everyone at the top of the review, there will be spoilers. I'm spoiling the whole movie. I'm talking about the whole movie. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this review. This is for someone who maybe has already seen the movie or likes to, be spoiled and know what's going to happen in the movie before you even watch it. And I have my little notebook here. So cute. Little notebook with a little flower on it. And I took actual real physical notes while I was watching the movie. My boyfriend also put a few notes in here that he wanted me to read. So I'm basically just going to cover like a brief synopsis of the plot, things I liked, things I didn't like, things I would improve, just like how much I liked it and how scary it was. So this movie is essentially like a stuck on an island movie, which I love. I love Castaway. I love Lost, Before It Got Weird. I like Yellow Jackets. I like any kind of media where someone gets stuck on an island and then they're in a survival situation, because I really, really, really like survival horror. I think it's really fun. The movie doesn't even have to be horror. Honestly, I fantasize about getting stuck on like an island, a deserted island, so that I can just like live in the woods and like make bowls out of coconuts and hunt fish and shit. It'd be so fun. I'd be so good at it. Like, I'd be so good at that. You guys think I'm playing, but I'm not. I know that I could. I know that if I was in Linda's position, I would have probably done the same thing that she... Well, maybe not all the same things, but similarly. So let me get into the movie. Now that you know you're going to be spoiled if you stay. So we sort of open in, I believe, an office building where we see Linda Little, who is a, how would you say nicely? She has a rich inner world, basically. She looks a mess. Her hair is all crazy. She's doing her work feverishly. She seems really good at her job. And we are clued in that the previous CEO of the company that she worked for has been grooming her for the last 7 years to be the successor, to lead the company, because she's great with numbers. She knows the company intimately. She's the perfect choice. But the owner of the company dies, and his son, who's Dylan O'Brien, comes in and he's like, I'm gonna do like an overhaul, like I'm gonna be the new guy, I'm the cool new CEO. And she is very distraught because his old college friend also works at this law firm or something, whatever, the business. His college buddy also works there. So he passes her up for the promotion, even though his friend has only worked there for 6 months and she's worked there for 7 years and deserved it. And we meet his gorgeous, stunningly gorgeous fiance named Sorryyyyy, who comes into the office when he and Linda are having this little sort of heated conversation about how she deserved to have the promotion and it's not fair that she's not getting it. So in an effort to shut her up, because he has made multiple comments throughout the beginning of the movie about how disgusting she is to him, like how much he just hates being around her. She stinks. She's ugly. He's a terrible, comically bad person and comically bad boss. And so we see sort of the juxtaposition of his fiance, who is like a Nokia, like supermodel, like she's gorgeous. And then Linda, who it looks a little worse for wear. You know, she's a workhorse. She's not a show horse. So he is visibly disgusted by her and treats her very poorly in the beginning of the movie. In an effort to shut her up, he invites her on a business trip to Thailand to like close a deal, something, you know, a business meeting, who cares? And she previously, just a second before, we saw the young hotshot frat friend who's slated to become the new manager, CEO, whatever. He takes the report that Linda had been working on. She mentions the fact that they asked to have her in there, and he said, no, they don't need you. They don't want you. We're making the group smaller today. And she was like, well, make sure they see the sticky note on top that says Linda, because I did all that work. And he said, no, sure, of course, whatever. And he walks into the room, takes it off, crumples it up, and throws it in the trash. And she sees the whole thing. Oh, it's so sad.
Here is the company review I prepared.
So this first little shot in the office, I have a couple notes about what happened at the beginning because there were a few funny moments that really stuck out to me. I wrote in my notes that Linda is awkward as hell, giving crazy bird lady, because in a moment when we go to her house, we see that she lives alone with a parakeet or something, and she has all these books on her bookshelf that are like survival 101, how to make fire, how to build shelter. And then there's one book on the shelf that says how to talk to your bird. And this cracked me up because just a second after this, she has a piece of toast with peanut butter on it, and she's like trying to share it with the bird, and she like puts it towards the bird and the bird won't bite it. Like even the bird looks hesitant to be around her, like it won't bite the toast. And she's like, we just have each other, don't we? Like we're a family or whatever the hell. Girl, I don't even think the bird wants to be there, I'm gonna be honest. And then actually, I'm sorry, I mixed it up a little bit. The next day when she goes back to work is when the new boss is like, okay, you are gonna come with me to Thailand. And whenever, oh my God, she has a sandwich, and she, because he starts to call her, she puts the sandwich in her desk drawer and closes the sandwich in the drawer, like halfway. So like the sandwich is like this, and she like smushes it in the drawer. It was so funny. It was crazy. And it's like, it's not even that funny, but it really, really was to me. I also made a note that in the beginning of the movie, only in the beginning of the movie, which was interesting, in the first like 10 minutes when they're in the office, there are a lot of really visceral close-up shots of people's faces while they're talking. It gives very the substance. I don't know if you've seen like that scene where Dennis Quaid is disgustingly eating shrimp while Demi Moore is sitting across from him. And he's like, and it's just like a close-up on his mouth. It's disgusting. It's very visceral. This read a lot like that. I loved those shots, and I thought they were used really, really well. And I was so sad that that didn't carry through the movie because I really enjoyed it. Okay, I also made a note that this movie feels like when you really have to throw up and your mouth starts watering, but you're around people and you don't want to throw up because it would be embarrassing. That's what this whole movie feels like. And if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, there's no other way for me to explain it to you. And so we cut to her like on the plane. This group of, they're like mean girls. These other men that she's on the plane with, she's the only woman. She's sitting with her earbuds in, just working on the document that they keep talking about that's so important that she worked on, she didn't get the credit for. So she's working on it. She's like, I'm going to solve all our problems, whatever she's working. And then we hear from the other side of the cabin, these guys, they found her YouTube channel. And it's like, oh my God, it's like her audition for Survivor. And so she's like, I'm Linda Little. And she's like standing on top of a playground set, and they are laughing at her. They are laughing at her like middle school bullies. And she's sitting over there she has a direct line of sight to them. She takes out one of her earbuds and she hears them watching that YouTube video of her, which is terribly embarrassing. And she just like, she's working on the document and she clicks delete. And me and my boyfriend started cheering, like clapping, screaming, fuck yes, Linda. You show those assholes. You don't need them, but they need you, and they're gonna be so sorry whenever you don't make that document. And so she deleted it, and I was gagged. I was so happy. I'm so happy for her. I love that she stood up for herself because she has been treated so poorly. Even in the first fucking 10 minutes of the movie, like, you really feel for Linda. And, oh my God. Okay, so at this point, we get our plane crash. We start to get turbulence, and one of the guys, one of the mean boys, is like, seatbelts are for pussies. Literally, seatbelts are for pussies. And then the plane goes like, and he like flies up and hits the ceiling. And then he's like going on, like trying to buckle his seatbelt. He's like, I can't buckle the seatbelt. And the plane, like, the door rips open, you know, and like all the stuff is like, everything's like flying all around this guy, and it's flying out the door, and one of the guys flies out of the door, and then the other guy, one of the other mean guys, the blonde guy who was, I don't know his name, the friend, the antagonist at the beginning, he's holding on to Linda because Linda was the only one who was sitting down buckled up, and he's holding on to her, and he's like, let me have your seat. And she's like, what? And he's like, let me have your seat. Like, let me get in your seat. And the guy's holding onto his leg so he doesn't get blown out. And he, like, kicks him off or some shit. And then he's trying to, like, strangle Linda to give him the seat. And she grabs, like, the plane's going down. It's like everything's sliding down the aisle. She grabs a fork that's sliding from the cart. And she, like, stabs his hand and he flies out. But his tie gets stuck in the door. So he's like being choked, like hanging on the outside of the plane. And she sees him outside the plane, and she's sitting like this, and she just like slides the window cover closed. Guys, when I tell you that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, I almost pissed myself. I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. It was hysterical. Loved it. I made a note about it right here. It says sliding the window closed queen. And so it's like the next day, we wash up on the shore. She survives. Nobody else survived. There's also a little, like, there's a jump scare moment when she like goes into the water, and there's like a like Jaws, like, you know, his face is all like messed up and he like flies out of a plane. It's scary. Well, it's not, but it's supposed to be. And this is not a very scary movie, I don't think. There's a little bit of blood, and like parts of it are kind of tense, but I don't really feel like this movie's scary. I feel like it's a pretty easy romp for people who don't watch a lot of horror movies, because it's similar in vibe, and like grotesque in the way that maybe just like dialed up Castaway. Like it's not, I don't know, it's not insanely bad, but it is a little bit gory. I'll talk about that part later. So they wash up on the beach, and the only other survivor is Dylan O'Brien, the piece of shit boss. And so she finds him on the shore, and she like drags him up, and he's got a big gash on his leg, so she's like taking care of it. She puts like some salve or whatever, she wraps it in leaves, the whole nine. You know, she's taking care of this asshole for no reason, because he was a huge dick to her. Like, he said something like, you smell really bad, and like you should dress like explicitly a huge dick. So she's saving him, and at some point he wakes up and he's like, where are we? Like, are there any survivors? And she's like, no, it's just us. And he just starts like, she starts to try to give him some fish or something. She's trying to feed him, give him some water, and he's like, ugh, so disgusting, I'm not gonna eat that. And he's like throwing a fit, like he's being such a baby. It's so annoying. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't remember the exact order of events. Like, I'm gonna this is supposed to be the quick version of this, like the script rundown, but I actually didn't really remember it, so it's gonna be all out of order. Because I didn't really, these notes are just like funny things that happen like during the movie, so I didn't like make points of like, okay, so this happens and then this happens and then this happens. This just says, holy shit, she's so badass. I don't know what that was for. Okay, so something, whatever. Next big point of the movie that I thought was a big point. She's like, I need to get something more substantial for us to eat, so I'm gonna go hunt a boar. And he's like, you're gonna go hunt a boar, Linda from accounting? And she says, actually, it's strategy and planning. You should know that because you're the boss. And he's a little gagged by that as well. So she goes out into the forest. I'm sorry, it's a little hot. She goes out into the forest and she tracks this boar. She finds it. Terrible CGI. Terrible. They spent 100% on the budget. They spent 100% of the budget on hiring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, so they couldn't spend any money on CGI, is my assumption, because the boar looks awful. It's so bad. It's like, I don't know, it just looks so CGI. It's just so weird. Like, I don't know, I didn't like that. So that's one point that I'm deducting for the bad CGI. And this horrible CGI throughout the movie is really consistent, because there are several other moments where something sort of outlandish happens that they couldn't do with like a stunt double or whatever the hell, and the CGI is just very bad. So not ideal. She kills the boar. She like, oh my god, she like stabs it with a spear, and then it's running at her, and she like impales it on the spear, and it's like right in her face, and it's like spoots blood all over her face, and it is so bloody. It's a really good scene though, super good. She comes back to the camp. She throws the decapitated boar head in front of him, and she goes, you ever hunt? I think I like it. So fucking badass. So badass. So I don't remember the inciting action that led to this, but Dylan O'Brien is like, fuck this, I'm gonna go make my own camp, because he's still in this survival situation. He's like, I think the person who is keeping me alive is weird, so I'm gonna go to my own camp. So he says, and I wrote this down because I thought it was so funny, he walks like literally 15 feet down the beach. You know, he's that close. They're neighbors. It's a good rock, good tree, good foundation. This will be my home. God. Woo! I'm sorry, it was so funny. Like, the way he said it, you have to watch this movie. You really do, because it was so funny. I can't even explain it. I don't think I can put a clip. I'll see if I can, but I don't know the copyright stuff with YouTube, because I've never really done like a movie review, so I don't know how much movie clip I can put in before I get like, they come for me. So we'll see what happens. And so at this point, he's like, I can provide for myself, and he This is the grossest scene in the whole movie. He finds a roach, huge roach, on like a rock. And he just puts it in his mouth and starts eating it. And then he has to like spit it out because it's so disgusting. And I wrote a note that was like, you wouldn't eat a cooked fish, but you would eat a roach. Sure. He spits it out, but like you were willing to put it in your mouth just to like make a point. Like why? So he didn't eat the fish that Linda cooked for him, which also looked amazing, by the way. But he did eat a roach. Very sickening. This is like an inside joke. Jenny Nicholson has a great video on this, and I will put her channel right here. She's one of my favorite YouTubers ever, and she made a video about this old fan fiction that was called Stuck in an Island with Josh Hutcherson. And so I made the connection that she was stuck in an island with Dylan O'Brien, which I feel like would be a great fan fiction. If it had gone slightly differently, I feel like it could have been fan fiction. But they were like, okay, we can take the common path, which is rom-com, or we can take the road less traveled, which is rom-com / horror. And they went with that. And thank God that they did, because it was so good. So they're starting to like get closer. I think Dylan O'Brien's character, who I still don't remember his name, was just like trying to make her feel comfortable so he could like escape or something. He keeps bringing up this plan about making a raft and getting off the island, but it's really obvious to the audience, but maybe also to him, that Linda does not want to leave. She's really, really into this island. She really likes it. She doesn't want to leave. She likes her little fantasy with Dylan O'Brien. She wants to stay there. We also, I neglected to bring this up because I don't remember when it happened, but she every day is like, you know, taking stock of the island. She's walking around, figuring stuff out. She goes up to the top of this like big mountain. It's like a lookout. She's like looking over the island, and she tells his character, do not go to the south side of the island where the big X-shaped rock is, because it's all prickly bushes and poison vines and whatever. Just don't go over there. So we know something is up. While she's out, she sees a boat, like a little boat, like a skiff, coming along the shoreline, and she like hides in the trees, and she's like, I'm not ready yet, like I'm not doing it yet. And we start to get the inclination that she's not all there. She's not quite right, if we hadn't already got that before. And so they're having this like really emotional conversation on the beach at night. Like they're just like pouring their hearts out to each other because Linda found a way to make, I don't remember what she called it, but she also said it was toilet wine. So basically just like fermented fruit. And so they were like totally drunk. They're like talking on the beach and whatever. And she's talking about how she used to be married, her ex-husband. He was like abusive. He was an alcoholic. He was like just an evil guy. And she told him the story about how the night that he died, he had done something really unforgivable. She doesn't say what it is, but we can assume. And she said that she always hid his keys, but that night she took her keys out of her purse and handed it to him, and she poured him his last drink, and he went out and he got killed in a drunk driving accident. So it was a really, really emotional moment for her, which Dylan O'Brien's character throws in her face like 20 minutes later. So hold on to that. And at this moment where she's talking about like her husband and whatever, what does Dylan O'Brien's character say? I don't know, something. Like, where is he? What happened to him? And she goes, he died. In the same moment she said that, I also said that because I just knew that was what she was going to say. It was very funny. And this is actually, yes, she has pointed out multiple points in the journey which berries are poisonous and which ones are okay to eat. So Dylan's like, oh, let me cook for you. Like, you've done so much. Like, let me make you a meal. And he poisons her with those berries. And at this point, she's falling on the ground. She's like, ah, you know, like she's having a bad time. And Dylan comes out, runs out of the woods with the shittiest piece of shit raft ever. Just sticks bound together. It's horrible. And it's nighttime. Stupid ass plan. So he runs out past her like body, and he puts the raft out, and it like instantly completely destroyed. Like instantly destroyed it. It's so funny. And he doesn't come back to the shore. He's basically drowning because he can't do anything. He's drowning. So fucking Linda gets her ass up and resuscitates him, pulls him out of the ocean, and this is so funny. This is so fucking funny. She's actively like on his chest doing compressions in his face. Like just compressions and then throwing up on his face. It's you guys, you have to see this movie. Like, I know I've talked about it a lot, but if you have not seen it, you've got to see it. It's so funny. And like, it's scary a little, but it's really funny. I like it a lot. And so the next day, obviously he's all like mopey, and she's like, "Aw, where's your smile? Like, your plan didn't work. Like, you couldn't kill me, idiot. But like, smile. Like, look better, you know?" And she's like, "Come on, just like eat something. It's so good. Eat something, baby." And she gives him like a skewer with a little octopus on it.
There you go.
And the second I saw that skewer, I knew what she was gonna say. Blue-ringed octopus. And lo and behold, she does. He ate the blue-ringed octopus. She poisons him with it, so he's completely paralyzed. And she's sitting there, and she gets scary. And she's like, I don't even remember exactly what she says, but to the effect of, "Okay, things are gonna be different around here. You're not gonna do that to me again. I'm in charge. I'm castrating you."
Needs to be fixed.
And so he's sitting there. He can't move. He goes, and he like starts crying. And she's like, there's on the audio captions, it says squelching sounds. And it's obvious she's sawing at something, and we can see that she's sawing. Like, you can see this, but you can't see what she's doing. And he's like crying and blubbering and whatever the hell. And she holds up a dead rat. And she's like, "Ha! Gotcha! I'm not actually castrating you, but next time, I will. I'm not kidding. So get right." So funny. Girl boss. I love her. It's just so fucking funny. And in my notes, I put, "Yes, she's castrating him." And then she didn't. God, that was so sad. She really should have. Also, unrelated, semi-related. Back a few minutes when I was talking about him eating the cockroach, my boyfriend wrote a note in here that says, I saw a post that said, "Did you know Dylan O'Brien didn't eat an actual cockroach? It was made from chocolate." Like, yeah, no shit. Why? Why would we think he ate a real cockroach? That's just so funny to me. Ridiculous. But I wrote, "Holy fake out." Crazy, because I really thought she was castrating him. She didn't. But it would have been nice. And, oh yeah, there's a point earlier in the movie. I keep neglecting to mention details because my brain just goes all over the place, and I'm not medicated right now. So earlier in the movie, at some point when they're like walking around and she's showing him the south part of the island that he shouldn't go to, she slips on the edge of this cliff, and I'm like, why the fuck are you up there? It's just ridiculous. You don't need to be up there. That'd be like a full day hike. And this guy has like an injured leg, so like, why would you be up there? But anyway, the rocks like crumble and she like falls off the edge, and somehow we like get her back up, like she's safe, whatever. It's a beautiful moment. And now she's at the south side of the beach, I assume, and she sees another boat. But this time, the person on the boat sees her. And it's fucking Sorryyyyy, the fiance!
Linda! It's me!
Oh, God. And you can see in Linda's face, she's like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, this is no good. It's no good at all. And, it's just not good. But she shows up with, it's just her and a guide who brought her here in the boat. And also, side note, she's dressed she's dressed crazy, to rescue your husband from fiance, to rescue your fiance from a jungle island in the middle of nowhere. She's wearing like, she looks like she's going to like a safari photo shoot. Like she looks like she's wearing something to like a safari themed party. Like she doesn't look like she's going out in the world. It's an interesting outfit. She looks cut. I love it, but really interesting. So she takes her and the guide up that cliff, and she lets Sorryyy fall at the same spot that she did. And the guide is like, he's holding her hands and he's like, help me, lady. And it cuts to black. So we don't know what happened. We can assume that she pushed them or killed them. She obviously killed them somehow. But we don't know because we didn't see it. And after this, she's just like, she's acting really mopey, which is super out of character for her because she's a super bright, bubbly, happy person. And Dylan O'Brien's character really picks up on this, and he's like, what's going on? And later that night, she's walking on the beach, just like moping along, and she sees someone laying on the beach, and it's Sorryyy. And she like comes up to her and she's like, why did you push me? Why'd you try to kill me? Like, I'm gonna tell him everything, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like a nightmare. So like, it wasn't even real. So boo. But I honestly, sometimes I really hate it when movies do that. I just find it really uninteresting. But it was a nightmare. She's not really there. But there is like there's a jump scare. There's a jump scare with like this shitty Spirit Halloween zombie mask. It's so bad. It is devastatingly awful. And I loved this movie, but the special effects and the jump scares are so bad. They're so corny. They're not scary. It just looks like shit. Like, I love the movie. I love this movie, but it looked like shit. Okay, so Dylan O'Brien finds, and I had an issue with this too, finds Sorryy's hand, which is like sticking out of the sand somehow, and her wedding ring is on, and he can see that, and he knows that it's her. My thought is, why the fuck is she buried like way up the sandbank? It's not even close to where she fell off. It just doesn't make sense. Whatever. Moving on. But they start tussling, and he's like, I know what you did, like, you killed her, and like, we're stuck here, and blah, 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 blah. And they start biting and scalping each other. He pulls out this big chunk of her hair. It's crazy. They're biting each other, like biting chunks out of each other, biting his finger off. And then he digs his finger into her eyeball and tries to pop her eyeball out. And he doesn't, but like, ugh! It was so gross. And then here's this little drawing that my boyfriend made of that scene. It's really scary. Totally scary, disgusting, very disgusting. Oh, his name is Bradley. And she goes, fuck you, Bradley. And it's very, very funny. It's one of the high points of the movie for me. I absolutely loved it. And it was giving very I'm sorry, we're not there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So they end up going to the south side of the island where she told him not to go. And there is a mansion over there. Very Triangle of Sadness, where like, they get stuck on this island and then the roles reverse and then they realize that there were people there all along. It's very much like that. And he goes into this house and she, I guess, is already in there. And she's watching him on the security cameras. And she's like, yeah, I found this house like weeks ago. I've always known it was here. I've been taking tools from here. I disabled their security system. You're just like so stupid. You just like never even came over here. It's ridiculous.
Where are you going? Oh, there you are.
And she's watching him on the security cameras while he's like walking up. And they have another tussle. And there's more fighting with like a knife, and then someone has a gun. She's got a shotgun. She's aiming at him. And me and my boyfriend always talk about this because it's ridiculous that in movies, whenever someone is holding a gun, they are holding it so close to the person. Like if the person were to get up and knock the gun down, it's over. You need to back up more. You've got a shotgun. You don't need to be 5 inches away. It was just ridiculous. And then that happens. He takes the gun. He turns it on her. He pulls the trigger. And nothing happens.
Why, you crazy bitch from accounting?
No.
And she's like, oh no. And he goes, like, wow, you did all, like, Linda from accounting. And she's like, actually, strategy and planning. And she takes a golf club, lines it up over his head, and
Strategy and planning.
knocks his eyeball out. It's disgusting. And that's like the end of the frame. The end of the scene. And we don't see what happens to him, but it is implied that he is dead. And so after this, we have, because the whole movie has taken place on the island, basically, up to this point. Now we're back in regular society. We're back to real life. And we cut to Linda. She's glowed up, you know, she looks beautiful. She's wearing a little visor, she's golfing, she's on TV. They're doing an interview with her. They're like, wow, Linda, like, tell us all about your story. Like, the world fell in love with you after we heard your story about how you survived. You're the sole survivor of that plane crash, and you survived, and then you formed this amazing career as a golfer. You wrote a book about your experience. They're making it into a movie. What are your next plans? Like, what are you gonna do? And she's like,
Well, I'm writing a self-help book because I want people to know no help is coming.
and it's so cunt. And she really just, God, it's a good for her movie, for me, because, you know, like, there's a lot of mixed reviews on this. They're like, oh, Bradley should have been okay, whatever the hell. I don't care. I think that it's fictional. And I think that it's fine to do crazy things in fiction to a degree. But I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I loved her character so much. I thought she was amazing. And she mentions in the very beginning of the movie, in this horrifically awkward encounter with one of her coworkers, that her favorite go-to karaoke song is One Way or Another, I think. And in the end of the movie, she drives off in a convertible playing that song. And it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. She deserves it so much. I love it. And her bird, Sweetie, is in a gold cage sitting in the convertible with her. It's amazing. She won, you know? I'm very happy for her. And this is a beautiful, this is a beautiful picture that my boyfriend drew of stuck in an island with Dylan O'Brien. That's him, and that's Dylan O'Brien, and that's the boar, the dead boar that he killed to feed Dylan. So there's that. And yeah, that's basically the movie. I tried to cover as much as I could remember. I definitely missed stuff, but that's why you have to see it yourself. I would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, for me, this movie, it's kind of fucked up to start the series with a 10, but this movie was a 10 to me. I loved it. I thought it was a wonderful mix of horror and comedy, because horror and comedy are sisters. They go really well together. They work in beats of 3. It's just, they complement each other very well. So blending this horror with the goofiness, I just thought was so awesome. I thought the movie was so fun. I think Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien did an amazing job. You really fucking hated Dylan O'Brien in this movie. He is insufferably evil. And you really feel empathy and pity for Linda Little, like Rachel McAdams' character. She tries so hard to do right by others, but she's just awkward in a way that people don't understand. And I feel really connected to her character. Like, I just really like it. Least favorite part about the movie is probably the CGI. It's really, really bad. I feel like the movie makes a couple choices that I would be like, I don't know. I mean, things that aren't like exactly logical, that are just like movie logic, like that's why it's happening. But for me, I'm like, you know, I'm one of those people that's like, that doesn't really make sense. How would they do that? And I don't need to do that for every movie, but every once in a while I'm like, okay, that's a little ridiculous that they would do that. Because I I'm ridiculous. So whenever she was feeding him like the little thing that had the octopus on it, it was like this little itty bitty, you know, like the, I don't know if you guys would know this, but if you've been to like a Chinese buffet and they have octopus, usually they're like those little itty bitty ones. And she says it's a blue-ringed octopus. It's definitely not. Also, eating a blue-ringed octopus, I believe, would kill you, even if it was cooked. It did not look like one. It just paralyzed him for a day. And then Sorryyyyy being buried in the sand so far from where she fell off the cliff, or where she was pushed, didn't really make sense to me. Obviously, they needed that to happen for the plot to move forward. He had to know that she had killed her, so that had to happen. But I just feel like the way they did it was kind of lazy. Especially, it was like Corpse Bride. Her hand sticking out of the ground with the ring on it. It was just really on the nose, and I thought that was kind of goofy. But usually in this movie, I feel like the goofiness really works. But in some aspects, I was like, okay, come on. Like, that's sort of silly. But I think this movie was a great time. It was a great time. It had a lot of DNA of Triangle of Sadness. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's similar in a way, but that movie focuses a lot more on the role reversal, about class and who does the work gets the benefit and stuff like that, which I think is a great theme for that movie. And I really, really enjoyed that movie as well. So that one is definitely worth taking a look at, and it has a lot of similar DNA, I would say, to this movie. It's not similar as far as plot, but it's like a deserted island movie, so that makes it similar enough. And the fact that, well, I guess I spoiled it a little bit, but this is like not a super spoiler, but one of the characters in that movie also knows that there are people on the island, but she wants to keep it the way that it is, so she doesn't tell anyone, which is what happens in this movie as well. So there is a lot of similarities. But as a horror movie, I would say, I don't know. I think this one is pretty easy for, you know, people who aren't a huge fan of horror. There's no like slasher, there's no supernatural element, there's nothing paranormal, there's no aliens, there's no ghosts or demons or ghouls or poltergeists or whatever the hell. It's just two people who are in a really stressful situation and make some really odd choices, and it's a very fun movie. The parts where they are scrapping towards the end get really bloody and violent, but other than that, there's not a ton of violence in this movie. The plane crash scene is a little bit violent. If that bothers you, then I maybe wouldn't watch this movie. But I don't know. I think it's really easy to get into. It's not super scary. It is very funny. So even people who don't love horror could probably still get something out of it. And I loved it. I thought it was a 10. There were a few things that I was like, interesting choice. But it's also for the sake of the plot to move the movie forward. And I understand that it's not always going to be 100% logical. And I'm okay with that. I really liked this movie. So yeah, that was my review of Send Help from 2026. Great movie. Highly recommend. I watched it on Hulu or HBO. It is included with a subscription on there, so easy enough to watch right now since it's streaming. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on this movie, or if you have any other movies that you want me to review, you can drop those in the comments. And what do you think about my look? Do I look like a cuntier Linda Little, or do I look like I just washed this shirt with period underwear? Let me know. Love you guys. And wow, it's really raining really hard right now. But I guess that's all. Yeah, I would love to make these videos sort of like on like a schedule. Like I'd love to do like sort of a weekly horror movie review, but I just don't trust myself enough to try to do that. I'm just not very consistent. So I already have my next movie, which is Would You Rather from 2012. I've already watched it. I already wrote my notes on it. I just need to film the video and edit it and do all that jazz. So that one will be coming. So if you liked this movie, if you like this video, you like my review, and you want to be tuned in for the next one, go ahead and watch Would You Rather from 2012. And whenever I cover it, you'll be like, hey, I just watched that movie. This is so fresh. And yeah, I appreciate so much everybody's really kind comments on my last video about my life update, because things have gotten significantly better since then. Thank God! But I just really appreciate everybody's support, and I know that video was long and boring, and I just appreciate everybody who watched it and tried to encourage me after the fact. It's just really sweet how much you guys care about me, and hopefully enjoy my videos. And I guess that's really it. I keep saying and like prolonging the video, but like there's really nothing else to say. So watch Would You Rather from 2012, and with any luck I'll be back next week to review that movie. And let me know what you think of the series, recommend horror movies that you want me to cover, whatever. Alright, love you guys, and remember, get wild and be sexy.